Addison's disease. Bum, bum, bum. What is Addison's disease? Addison's disease is a hormonal disorder brought on by the autoimmune response of the body. The adrenal glands no longer function correctly and not enough cortisol and aldosterone is produced. It affects men, women, and children alike, and symptoms typically don't appear until most of the gland has been destroyed. Addison's disease is caused by an autoimmune response of the body brought on by the immune system attacking its own cells. The adrenal glands are no longer able to function due to the damage done in the cortex, and this results in the underproduction of steroids, cortisol, and aldosterone. The main symptoms of Addison's disease include cravings of salt, weakness and fatigue, low blood pressure, and low blood glucose. The normal physiology of aldosterone is to cause sodium retention. When there is a decrease in blood pressure in the kidney, there is a release of renin, which activates angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, which becomes angiotensin 2, stimulating the adrenal glands to release aldosterone, causing sodium retention, increasing cardiac output, which increases blood pressure. Cortisol has many important functions, including maintaining blood pressure, regulating the breakdown of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, mobilizing nutrients, and stimulating the liver to convert glycogen to glucose in response to stress or low blood glucose levels. When Addison's disease attacks the adrenal glands, the medulla remains unaffected. The autoimmune response attacks the outside of the gland, which is the adrenal cortex. All layers of the adrenal cortex are destroyed in an autoimmune response. The immune response is triggered by a 21-hydroxylase protein which is needed for the production of cortisol and aldosterone hormones. The immune response causes damage to the adrenal cortex which inhibits the production of these hormones, causing an imbalance. Cell membrane. White blood cells attack the outer layer of the adrenal cortex, destroying the cells that are responsible for the production of aldosterone and cortisol. When signals are sent from the pituitary to release the hormones, the cells of the adrenal cortex do not receive the message, and hormones do not get released into the body. Homeostasis is affected by the destruction of the adrenal cortex, which causes an imbalance of hormones leading to hyperglycemia, fever, weakness, etc. This leads to an imbalance of ions and a non-absorption of nutrients. In particular, low levels of aldosterone cause an increased excretion of sodium and water, which can cause hypotension. Decreased amounts of cortisol mean the liver is not stimulated to convert glycogen to glucose in response to stress or low blood sugar levels. The treatment for Addison's disease includes corticosteroid replacement therapy, which is an ongoing treatment that continues throughout a lifetime. This includes hydrocortisone, which is identical to cortisol, or prednisone, and fludrocortisone to replace aldosterone. To summarize, Addison's is caused by an autoimmune response to the body's 21-hydroxylase protein, which is responsible for production of cortisol and aldosterone. The white blood cells attack the adrenal cortex cells, destroying them. This causes the inability for cells to receive messages from the pituitary, which would normally stimulate the cells to produce and release hormones. The underproduction of hormones results in the body's inability to regulate normal functions, and there becomes an imbalance. This is what leads to low blood glucose and low blood pressure.